Maximum alert in DC. What if you lose today? The key to defeat Dak Prescott, the secret keeping Cliff Kingsbury loyal, and the proof that Jayden Daniels is already a top 7 worldwide. This isn't clickbait. It's heavy artillery to win the NFC East. Turn on notifications now, because in 3, 2, 1, we reveal how a veteran assassin is on the way, why the Giants want to steal our brains, and the hidden reason that will put Daniels in the top 5. Forever? Are you a true fan or just a spectator? Like it and show it. After years of watching our defense suffer against the offensive lines of Dallas, Philadelphia, and New York, we finally have an organization that understands what we need. Adam Peters isn't playing around, and I'm telling you this, the possible. Arrival of Zadarius Smith to Washington is no accident. Do you remember when we lost Dante Fowler Jr. and he went straight to the Cowboys? That hurt, but now we're seeing why Peters let him go. This man has a plan, and I believe Zadarius Smith is a key piece of that puzzle. Let's talk real numbers here. Smith has accumulated 69 sacks in 140 games throughout his career. That's consistency, people. But let's dig deeper, because I know you want the details. In Green Bay, where he really made his name, Smith had seasons of 8.5, 12, and 13.5 sacks. Do you understand what that means? It means that this man knows how to be productive in elite defensive systems. And you know what's most impressive? When he went to Minnesota in 2022, many thought he was done. But this man recorded 10 sacks with the Vikings, showing he still has gas in the tank. Then with Cleveland and Detroit last year, 9 combined sacks. Not explosive numbers, but for a player his age, that's pure gold. But here's what really excites. Emmy, we have more than $20 million in cap space, and Jayden Daniels is on his rookie contract for 3 more seasons. Do you understand what that means? We can build around our franchise quarterback without breaking the bank. That's Burgundy and Gold, baby. Now let's talk about the reality of our defensive situation. Last season we finished with the 3rd best pass defense. But here's the problem. We lost our sack leader and allowed 137.5 rushing yards per game. That is the 3rd worst in the entire NFL. Do you understand how terrible that is? Dorrance Armstrong and Clelin Ferrell are decent players. But when you put them against Trevin Diggs, Micah Parsons, or Philadelphia's offensive lines, what do you think is going to happen? I'm telling you they're going to dominate us again. And that cannot happen. If we want to truly compete, Smith may not be the rusher he was 5 years ago. But here's the key. Dan Quinn knows exactly how to use veterans like him. Quinn doesn't need Smith to play 70 snaps per game. He needs him to be lethal on 3rd downs, to bring that 3-time Pro Bowl experience to our veteran room, and to teach our young edge rushers how to be professionals. And you know what's the craziest thing about all this? Smith has played with different defensive schemes. He's been in a 3-4 with Green Bay, played in a 4-3 with Cleveland, has been a pass rush specialist with Detroit. That versatility is exactly what Quinn needs to implement his system. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Smith is going to turn 33, and some will say he's old. I'm telling you this. Do you prefer a 33-year-old veteran who knows how to win, or to keep betting only on potential? Because I've seen enough potential that turns into nothing. Smith is guaranteed production. Also, financially, this makes perfect sense. While other teams are paying massive contracts to young players, we can get Smith at a fraction of the cost. That leaves us money to extend Terry McLaurin, to bring in more talent, and to build depth in other positions. And you know what I like the most about this possible signing? It shows that this organization is thinking about winning now. We are not in build mode, we are in compete mode. Because when you have a quarterback like Jayden Daniels on his rookie contract, every season is precious. I ask you this. Do you prefer to keep trusting only young players, or bring in someone who has been in the playoffs and knows what it means to win when everything is on the line? Because I believe Smith can be exactly what we need to complete this defensive transformation. If that surprises you, wait to hear this. But that's nothing compared to what's coming. Cliff Kingsbury, our offensive coordinator, is being mentioned as one of the 8 coordinators who could land head coach jobs next season. And I'm telling you this, that has me worried and excited. At the same time, after all we've suffered with mediocre offensive coordinators, we finally have the man who made Jayden Daniels look like a 10-year veteran from day one. Kingsbury designed an offensive system that took us to top 7 in scoring and total yards. Do you remember that explosive performance against Cincinnati on Monday Night Football? That was pure Kingsbury magic. But let's deep dive into what Kingsbury really did to earn this attention. He took a rookie quarterback, put him behind an offensive line that still had questions, with Terry McLaurin as our only elite receiver and a 34-year-old tight end in Zach Ertz, creating the 9th best aerial offense in touchdowns. You understand how incredible that is. When Kingsbury came to Washington, many doubted him. Isn't he the same guy who was fired from Arizona? They asked. The same one who couldn't consistently make it work with Kyler Murray? But I always said there was more to that story. In Arizona, Kingsbury had to deal with an organization that lacked the structure we currently have. Here's the difference. In Arizona, Kingsbury was the head coach trying to handle everything. Here, he can focus only on the offense. And the results speak for themselves. Daniels ended with over 3,500 passing yards, over 800 rushing yards, and 31 combined touchdowns. Do you know how many rookies have done that in NFL history? Very few. But here's the dilemma, folks. Kingsbury has head coaching experience with Arizona, took Kyler Murray to 2 Pro Bowls, and got the Cardinals into the playoffs in 2021. Teams know he can handle a locker room and develop young quarterbacks. And you know what's the craziest part? He had opportunities last January to be hired but decided to stay with us. Let's talk about why Kingsbury stayed. I believe he saw something special in Jayden Daniels that he hadn't seen in other quarterbacks. Kyler Murray had talent, but Daniels has something different. He has that student mentality, that work ethic, that maturity that Murray never showed consistently. But do you believe that if Kingsbury has another explosive season with us, he'll turn down another chance to be head coach? Because I tell you, no. This man is 44, and probably this will be his last real opportunity to land another head. CoachingJob.now, let's talk about the teams that might be interested. The Giants might fire Brian Daboll if they have another disastrous season. The Panthers might make changes if Frank Reich doesn't work. The Titans are always in transition. And all those teams will see what Kingsbury did with a rookie quarterback and think, that's our guy. And you know what worries me the most? That Kingsbury might leave just as Daniels enters his second year. That second year is crucial for quarterback's development. It's when you really establish chemistry, when you refine the system, when you take everything to the next level. But here's my theory. I believe that Dan Quinn and Adam Peters are already thinking about this. They know Kingsbury is too good to stay a coordinator forever. So, what do? They are probably cultivating his potential replacement. It might be someone from the current staff. It might be someone they already have in mind. The reality is this. While other teams like the Giants are still looking for competent offensive coordinators, we have the man who transformed our offense from being a disaster to being a scoring machine. Kingsbury took air raid concepts, mixed them with RPO elements, and created something unique that maximized Daniels' skills. Do you remember how our offense looked with Carson Wentz? With Taylor? Heinicke? With Sam Howell? It was painful to watch. But Kingsbury arrived, and suddenly we have an offense that other teams have to respect. We have an offense that can compete with Dallas, with Philadelphia, with anyone. But let's be realistic. If Kingsbury leaves, it won't be the end of the world. Why? Because Daniels has already absorbed the fundamental concepts. He already understands how to read defenses, how to use his legs, how to distribute the ball. A new coordinator can build on that foundation, But do you believe that Peters already has a plan if Kingsbury leaves? Because I do believe he does. This organization is thinking 3 steps ahead of everyone else, and if we lose Kingsbury, it will be because we already have his replacement ready. My prediction is this: Kingsbury will have an incredible season. With us, we'll receive multiple offers and we'll take one. But here's the key: he'll leave a system so solid that his successor can continue smoothly. That's what separates great coordinators from mediocre ones. And when you thought we were done, and if you thought that was all, you're crazy. Because the news that's going to revolutionize everything is that Jayden Daniels has just been ranked as the 7th best player in the entire NFL in a mock draft reset. 7th. Do you understand the magnitude of this? When we Commanders fans think of all we've suffered with mediocre quarterbacks, from Rex Grossman to Carson Wentz, this feels like a dream. But it's not a dream, folks. It's the reality that we had the youngest quarterback among the first 7 selected, and after possibly the best rookie season in NFL history. But let's break this down completely, because I know you want to understand every detail. In this mock draft reset by Chad Reuter for NFL.com, all NFL players were placed in a pool and teams selected as if it were a real draft. And do you know what happened? The first 13 picks were quarterbacks. 13. That tells you everything you need to know about the importance of the position. But here's the crazy part. Daniels was the 7th quarterback selected, which means he is in the top 7 quarterbacks in the entire NFL after one single season. Do you understand how historic that is? And you know what's the craziest part about all this? Daniels was selected by the Jets in this exercise, but only after 13 quarterbacks were selected. The Jets took Daniels, hoping he can build on the explosive talent he showed as the Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2024. Did you hear that? Offensive Rookie of the Year. But here's where I start to get a bit annoyed. Jalen Hurts was selected one spot before Daniels, and that guy just won a Super Bowl MVP. But did you see what Hurts did without that elite offensive line and those receivers? I'm telling you this. Daniels was much more responsible for the success of the Commanders than Hurts was for the success of the Eagles. Let's compare the situations. Hurts had a Jay Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and an offensive line that has been consistently one of the best in the NFL. What did Daniels have? Terry McLaurin, Zach Ertz, and an offensive line that was still finding its chemistry. And still, who had more impact on their team's success? I say Daniels. Justin Herbert was selected 4th for Jacksonville, and I think that's total madness. What has Herbert done that Daniels hasn't done better? Herbert has had Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, and a decent offensive line. And what has he accomplished? Exactly. With all due respect to Herbert, he has had more offensive weapons and hasn't achieved what Daniels did in a single season. But let's delve deeper into what Daniels did to deserve this ranking. Statistically, he had one of the most complete rookie seasons we've seen. More than 3,500 passing yards, over 800 rushing, 31 combined touchdowns, and led us to the playoffs. Do you know how many rookies have done that? I can count them on one hand, but you know what's most impressive? It's not just the stats. It's how he played in the big moments. That performance against Cincinnati on Monday Night Football, where he looked like a 10-year veteran handling pressure. That comeback against Atlanta where he showed he has the clutch gene. Those playoffs where he didn't seem intimidated by the moment. Now, I ask you, do you think Daniels is going to appear in the NFL Top 100 when it comes out in August? Because I not only think he's going to appear, I think he's going to be in the top 15. And when other NFC East fans see that, they'll understand that we are no longer the same Commanders as before. This ranking also tells us something important about the national perception of our team. We're no longer a franchise people laugh at. We have the 7th best player in the entire NFL, according to this analysis, and that means other teams have to respect us. But do you understand what this means for our future? It means we have a quarterback experts already consider elite. Not promising, not with potential, elite. After a single season, he's already in conversations with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and the best in the league. And here's the part that drives me crazy with excitement. Daniels is just getting started. If he's already in the top 7 after his first season, where will he be after his second? After his third? Because I'm telling you, we're going to be watching a quarterback who will dominate this league for the next decade. Let's talk about something many don't mention. Daniels' mental maturity. Did you see how he handled media pressure? How he never let the expectations get to him. How he always said the right things and kept the focus on the team. That can't be taught. That's something you have or you don't. And you know what's the craziest part? Daniels achieved all this being the youngest quarterback selected in the first 7 picks of this mock draft. That means he not only has talent but time on his side. While other quarterbacks are in their peak years, Daniels is just beginning. His climb out this ranking is the confirmation of what we already knew. We have the franchise quarterback who will dominate this division for the next 10 years. While the Cowboys continue with their dramas and the Giants look for answers, we have the 7th best player in the NFL leading our offense. But do you understand what this means for the next NFL Top 100? Daniels is going to be there, probably, in the top 20, and it will be the first time a commander appears on that list in years. That's going to completely change the national narrative about our team. Recapping all this, Smith coming to complete our defense, Kingsbury shining but possibly leaving, Daniels proving he's already among the best in the NFL. 3 news stories that show this organization is building something special. But I guarantee that tomorrow we'll have more explosive news because this offseason isn't over and you can't miss what's coming. Do you think we should sign Jadarius Smith to strengthen our defense? Are you worried that Kingsbury might leave after another successful season? And are you ready for Daniels to prove he deserves to be in the NFL's top 5? Let me know all that in the comments because I read every single one of them. Like it, if you think Peters is building the best roster in the NFC East, subscribe if you want to keep being part of this Burgundy and Gold family witnessing history. Because this isn't just a channel. This is a community that has suffered together and now is celebrating together. Don't miss a single news story because this season is going to be different from anything we've experienced. Stay connected, stay informed, and stay proud to be part of this historic transformation.